Why is tap water in the United States drinkable, and China has to boil? This sentence must have been said by many salaries. It is often used to argue, why is the air in America so sweet? Even the water is sweet. And China's drinking water, what kind of problem has arisen? Now that's not entirely wrong. Because of America's tap water and air, it's sweet, in a sense. American Fu Ma, a professor of engineering at Virginia Tech University, Edwards said in a street interview that, before the 1920s, many cities in the United States require residence houses are being connected. The tap water must be connected to a lead pipe. Otherwise you can't use tap water, because we urbanized earlier in the United States. The laying of water pipes was also carried out for the first time. Bring it into town. Brass was a rarity. Not only can it be used to make sparkling decorations, it can also be used to make bullets. Therefore, when the US government laid the pipeline, they're looking for cheap lead. Lead is a heavy metal. After contact with certain acidic substances, it forms lead acetate. Slightly sweet, it's hard to get rid of. Now we know. Long-term exposure to lead is not good for human health, but because lead has good corrosion resistance, it's very cheap. Therefore, many Americans at that time believed that lead pipe should have no effect on the human body, and it may take 100 years without repair. So it started in the United States, city infrastructure buildings, widely adopted. As for some people who say that American air is sweet, it was invented by General Motors in the United States. Leaded gasoline, it can greatly extend the life of the engine. But here's the drawback, will make gasoline burn and become toxic. Lead compound, cause neurological impairment in long-term inhalers. Serious ones can even affect intelligence. It is worth mentioning that, when some states in the United States first implemented Wu Qinghua, it was opposed by some people. The reason is also strange. It is said to contain lead oil, can effectively reduce crime rates in American society. Research from the American University of Quality Assurance found that lead in arrested prisoners, 3 times the amount of their peers, maybe while running away, afraid to take public transportation. It takes too long to escape by car. It is easy to cause lead poisoning. This led to a dramatic drop in crime. Will leaded gasoline reduce crime? Let's put that aside. But eating too much lead does affect intelligence. In the 1960s, due to the American Dream, the Vietnam War, and many other factors, there was a period of unrest in the United States, including but not limited to street demonstrations, zero yuan to buy, smash, rob, and other evil events. When the American police arrested the criminals, they found that this group of inmates is slightly different from the previous inmates. The age is basically half a boy in his teens. And without medicine, the frenzy is still difficult to suppress. Later, it was carefully studied by American universities. I just found out that I ingested too much lead. It's a major factor contributing to the mental decline of these people. Most of these people live in the eastern United States, Brand Industrial City, and the new industrial cities near the Great Lakes. The pipes buried in the ground are all lead. After a long period of use, aging lead pipes has gradually seeped into the local water supply. So much so that nearly a generation of Americans have intellectual problems, cause irreversible harm. Adults are fine. High absorption in children. Weak immunity. Ingested lead is difficult to metabolize. So much so that now, many of Chicago's older neighborhoods, they still maintain the habit of cooking with purified water. So if that's the case, America didn't know, forget the dangers of lead. There is now sufficient scientific research and technical means. Why haven't they put the diving tube? Replace them all. This brings us to the United States. The superiority of characteristic capitalism. Industrialization was completed prematurely. Many American capitalists and politicians both hold existential and reasonable views. I don't really want to worry about those that have been implemented. The infrastructure in place. According to statistics, in addition to water pipe problems in the United States, and nearly a quarter of the bridges pose a safety risk. So far, half of all fatal traffic accidents have occurred, are related to the aging of road facilities. September 2024, the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency has filed a Freedom of Information Act complaint. Most lead pipes in the United States are labeled. Nominally speaking, it is for the sake of the local residents. FANG. It is convenient for their government and utility companies to replace the water pipe. The distribution of lead-containing water pipes in the United States, mentioned earlier, mainly in established industrial cities, also based on this policy, to be open and transparent. But does it really work? Obviously useless. Biden, who had already announced his withdrawal at the time, before the general election. In a hurry, I visited Yao Baijiu, Wisconsin Axis. I drew a big pie for the local people. After saying that the U.S. government will pay attention to local drinking water safety issues, it's going to cost them a fortune to change their water pipes and give a date for replacing the lead pipes. Set a 10-year deadline. It will definitely cross the United States within 10 years. Weapons, all poison pipes. Give the American people a highly intelligent brain. As for the result, we already know that. Biden's Democratic Party failed a few days after painting the pie. The account book after the succession of this king. I feel that the U.S. government's fiscal deficit is too large. Wave your hand. Wipe the pie that Biden drew. This situation, in a way, it is also a major feature of the United States. Due to recent years, the relationship between Trump and Biden's alternating administrations, many U.S. policies are actually not implemented. Wait for the people to ask. They can put the blame on the X. Except for American characteristic capitalism, submersible tube, the direct reason why it has not been replaced for decades, it's the efficiency of the U.S. government. As early as 2021, the Biden administration signed Infrastructure Investment and Employment Act. Want to use $15 billion special project funds to replace dive halls across America. By the way, use this money to pay for work, alleviate the employment problem caused by the epidemic. As for whether this bill has been implemented in the end, of course not. Until the end of 2023, Biden is only a year away from leaving office. EPA just started proposing this work. And what about the $15 billion special project fund? In the end, I don't know where to go. Speaking of which, there will definitely be some netizens with unknown IP addresses. Question: since the lead plumbing problem in the United States is so serious, why are lead poisoning standards in the United States lower than China? Here's why. After the Flint water crisis in the United States, closely talked to state super 100,000 residents facing lead risk of poisoning, approximately 0 to 1.2 million children, already drunk in large quantities, drinking water with high lead content, still receiving an outbreak of Legionnaire's disease on the Western Front, resulting in 12 deaths. 87 people were infected. Don't talk about this in our country. Even in any country with strict rule of law, none of the officials involved will get away with it. But how did the United States handle it? Including Poets, governor of Michigan, 9 officials, including Lee Snyder, charged with 34 felonies. 2 officials have been charged with manslaughter. The U.S. government and water plants. For the victims of this water crisis, a total of $600 million in compensation was paid. Local department, extensive replacement of water supply pipes, and provide filters to local residents. It's gone now. Filter locals also refuse to use. I still buy pure water every day to drink until now. Therefore, the U.S. government has only in some areas strict requirements for relocation poisoning. Prevent losing money next time. As for other places, it doesn't matter. I'll make amends when things break out. Logically speaking, submersible tube thing, it's not uncommon in any country. After all, in the era of major infrastructure, if you have to choose between drinking poisoned water or dying of thirst, presumably, most people will choose the former. But once you get through that difficult time, replace the water supply pipe. It was a big project. There must be a strong, only reliable government can achieve. It's a pity that in the current situation in the United States, if the next few governments, it's all donkeys alternating between the two parties. So these dive halls? Basically no future.